Well, I can tell you what. By the way, quite a lot of our partners have never known that we had or have bonus payments for attracting new investors to the company. Imagine yourself. But many have been amazed because they didn't know that. We'll work on that. Look, we all know that UFG has been investing into two lines of activities that maximizes profit, which is IT investments. I wouldn't say IT technology because IT is an information technology. So we are investing into information technology, and we also invest in medicine and pharmacology. I would say that we are investing into biotechnology, and this segment is underestimated very often. I am going to read something to you now. This is my hand. I am sorry. Back in 2018, a British scientific journal Nature published an article about a Chinese researcher, Hen Zhangque, who edited an embryo genome of two girls to be sustainable against HIV/AIDS. That was the parents' wish. However, that researcher was deprived of his doctoral degree, and the community said that it was playing God, which is not good. However, the genes were being played on since not since 2018, but much earlier. All people who were born in the Soviet Union, we all have a vaccine right from the start. When we are born, newly born babies are vaccinated immediately. I don't remember exactly against which disease it was. I respect every opinion. I wouldn't say that I am for or against that, but basically the genetic engineering sector is one of the segments of biotechnologies in general. And the term biotechnologies or biotech was introduced by Karl Erecki, a Hungarian engineer. What does it include? I mean, biotech. There are a few dozen sub-industries or sublines of activities, including gene engineering or genetic engineering, which is manipulating genes of human beings, animals, or plants. And GMO is a horrible term, which is about that. By the way, there is GMO, genetically modified objects, but there is another thing which sounds similar. I don't remember exactly. When emulsion is mixed to such a state when it becomes homogeneous, it sounds like homogenized or homogenegated when emulsion is centrifuged a lot. So please don't mix those two things. Homogenization, it is not a hazardous thing. We don't know whether it's good or bad. I mean, genetic engineering, time will tell. But it's very good for farmers, as you know that the global population is growing, and the Russia's population has been growing too. And not because every family produces 3 children. No, because we have visitors who are coming to our country and all want to eat. And farms in Russia are not at a very good state, I would say. And owing to biotechnology, we could restore populations, and we can produce new potatoes or tomatoes that are resistible to cold temperatures. And the same is happening to chicken or animals and so on. So this is what genetic engineering is about. Homogenized. Cloning is a technology to get genetically identical cells or clone organisms. So we all remember the Dolly sheep cloning. We don't know whether it's good or bad. It was a good play, but the most important thing is to regulate it by law and by morality. There is bionics, which is an applied use of biological processes, an attempt to bring such processes into a technical form, like math modeling and bionic prostheses. I have a friend of mine whose daughter has been using such limbs or artificial limbs or prostheses. They are expensive, but this is a very important tool. It's important. Anything may happen in our life. There is cryonics, a way to preserve cells and human body parts at low temperatures. We all watched science fiction movies where people were frozen, and many do the same with egg cells or vice versa. I wouldn't say that I have dived deeper into cryonics. I know other ways to preserve beauty and good look, but somebody needs it, so it's a potential thing. There is pharmacology, which is development of pharmaceutical drugs, and this is what we do together with you. This is the Rusich balsam and astromelanin that, as you know, this week, as far as I remember, Evgeny told us that there's going to be a test of melanin samples on for activity of and interaction with cancer cells. This is a very big step, and you can see that our company is fitting well into that sector, the industrial sector of the economy. There is also bioinformatics. This is the mathematical analysis software which is applied to genomics. So bioinformatics and genomics are interrelated. We have biomedical engineering, which is the use of engineering principles in growing artificial organs, as well as processes that need symbiosis. So look, how big is that sector? And I would amaze you with a few figures now. The biomed engineering is very useful, as today there is a chance to grow things using 3D printer. This is a new word in medicine, and we can produce that very fastly. And even houses are being built with 3D printing technology, and this is a very interesting line of activity. So our company has potential to grow. Well, first of all, biotechnologies were mainly employed in agricultural and food industries, and biotech is developing medicinal drugs for very heavy illnesses and aging. According to the UN, a lot of people would be older than 65 years of age. owing to the baby boom that happened between the centuries, and this is 7% higher than 2019. And the researchers did the math that the number of people of 80 plus would triple. You know, look, there are not fewer people on Earth. It is nearly 8 billion at the moment. And the generations are getting older and they need medicinal drugs. What else is worth mentioning? Well, one more point. Biotech has a very important essence, which is protection of life and ability to protect themselves for the human population of planet Earth. Because now there are more than 55,000 diseases in the world. You can imagine 55,000. And if you only had COVID-19 over the last year, you can take 5 because you are taking care of your health. You can imagine 55,000 diseases, but I am worried that I've had COVID. So 55,000 and every needs treatment. And as we know, just to use chemotherapy or X-ray, it is not a way out because you don't know what happens next. There's going to be side effects as well, and psychology is doing that all diseases are in our heads. That's probably true, but if we make a symbiosis, that would be a good and interesting solution. Look, elderly people have more diseases and it's more difficult to treat them, and we would need more able-bodied people, and the pension age would be increased again, and because those people would work and would have pensions, and the entire country would also live on that money. So therefore, it's profitable to maintain people, to support them while they can work. Radical biotechnology dealing with complex aging issues could resolve this problem. And certainly, such fundamental things or reasons would make biotech one of the most attractive industry for investments. And one of the analytical reports back in 2014, 7 years ago, was said that the biotech market would reach $600 billion by 2020. I have mentioned pharmaceutical industry in my presentation. This is $600 billion. This is a lot. And the expected growth momentum is 10 to 13% per year. And it so happened that the biotech market has been doing well in all forecasts. And according to Abercade Research Company, majoring in industrial markets and technologies, back in 2018, the market volume was $600 3 years ago in 2018 without GMO. You imagine yourself, this market has been booming. It is like buying a Bitcoin when no one knew what it was. So if investors are interested in that. And a global market insight, an American consulting company, believes that by year 2025, that industry would cost $729 billion, but I'm sure that this figure would be bigger. I'm confident because this is a exponential growth, and the main country of biotech is the United States of America. If you can remember our recent article, the United States, China, and European countries were leading the way, and Russia was only a fraction. Why? Why America is the biggest in terms of biotechnology? Well, the attitude to life is different in America. Yes, we Russian people could use ribgrass or plantain to treat any disease, or we can breathe hot potatoes. But American mentality is much more complex. Why are they having that? And I can tell you that if you look at the American history, you notice that it took a lot of wit and knowledge to survive in America. This is a young country, and people who traveled to America, most of them were really entrepreneurial, and they had big taxes, and they know where to invest, so that math works well, and they don't have potatoes or plantain or ribgrass in their math. So a lot of investment is being done in that sector, and private medicine is very well developed. Every family has a family doctor that inspects every family member once a month. They don't go to polyclinic. That sector is very well developed there. And they have a completely different mindset and background too. And the European countries are also developing biotech at a high rate. They have more spending. They have more spending on that. Look, now as UFG, we have been working with the Soviet legacy. Because we have a lot of Soviet legacy. Roads, I don't mean asphalt on the roads, but I mean the road design. They all remained the same width. So if you go to Moscow region, you can see trees, birch trees or other planted in the Soviet Union, and all that 90s gap in Russia was an economic war, and everything collapsed. There was no funding, and whatever we are having now is owing to those people who preserved those developments, who preserved their research. And astromelanin that we have was produced by a Soviet person, 1960. Rusich balsam was created since 1950s, and a lot of people have passed. But you know what I mean. Indeed, owing to the 90s, we could only have ribgrass and potatoes. And we have been just trying to gain this momentum, and we are trying to be closer to America or Asia. India, China, and Brazil are coming fast, and Russia is only 1% of the whole market. Imagine yourself, there are 3 companies only in this country doing biotechnology, and most of the produce is imported. When our pharmacological companies produce something, they import goods. The biggest exporter is China. Are you tired? If not, I can continue. Sounds good. Thank you. Sorry. Well, we are even lower than 1%. And it looks like that. There is some money invested into the development, and the development has been working for a period of time, and it makes no sense to update it. It should pay for itself. It should pay. Sorry. It should go further. You can fix it a while, but still, it should sell itself. But now, there are more and more opportunities available in this country, and I hope that we would be using newer technologies more and more. Roscosmos shows us that it's not that easy, but still. Let's talk about billions. I like talking about billions because I can see potential, market potential. Sometimes I am asked in my Telegram chat. I often have questions from foreigners. So let's invest here or there. I understand that I can invest, but what I can get instead. That sector is so big. It is like a beauty industry, but a little bit bigger, because whatever is related to health has this God's spark. I wouldn't say that, but it's a good thing. Our company is bringing you goodness, and I am investing my time and my money into that. Look, according to Global Market Insights, developing countries using more population, because India is very densely populated, the same as China and Brazil, and there's a lot of middle class there, and medical industries there leaves much to be desired. I mean, elementary medicine. And owing to the growth of income of those people and medical industry improvement, the biotech industry could go to a new level in developed countries, and Russian companies have a lot of potential to be in top 10 of such countries. But we have just started this journey. And our company has been there for 2 years now, but there are only 2,000 investors used to be in our company. I'm not speaking about active ones. And now people learn about us outside of Russia. There are some people coming to our foreign chat. They try to go deeper, and step by step, information goes into the internet, and you can see what could be the profit according to the National Association of Alternative Investments Markets. The global market in first half of 2019, the number of venture transactions in biotech. You know, venture deals or transactions is not buy and sell. This is something that you are investing into the future. This is long-term investment. So, the number of such venture deals in the first half of 2019 was 1,700 plus for the whole amount of $21 billion. People are not investing because people are investing in something which is just on paper. 21 billion, 109 projects were invested, and 14 exits happened. But can you guess how many biotech transactions happened in Russia in a year? From 0 to 20, I can give you a hint. Oh no, Maria, you are not very patriotic. So let's guess. Let's try to guess. All right. Look, what other options are there? Well, actually, Maria was the closest. Two deals for $0.1 million. Only two transactions. And I am speaking about 2019 because 2020 was a hysteria of the pandemic, so there were other contracts, but $21 billion and $5.1 million. This is a nonsense, a huge gap. But people live here and there. People live everywhere, and they need technology everywhere. So that pharmaceutical drug is like drink, is like food. You know what vitamin is? We're talking a lot today because of the holiday. I can tell you that 5 to 7.5 kilos of food were eaten up by people before, some 30 years ago. The same is for calories. It's 5 to 6,000 calories. Now, when we eat the same amount of food, we only get 2,000 calories. And air was cleaner 30, 40 years ago, and there were much fewer chemicals, so population consumed much more nutrients and vitamins, much more than today, because vitamins are critical for our bodies, so vitamins are part and parcel of our life. So that would be very nice if we have Rusich balsam as a biological additive, and estromelanin if we have it in the same way as a herbal nutritional or food supplement. Okay, let's go next. We have three billionaires, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Jeff Bezos, who invested into biotechnologies. And they also supported that industry. Peter Thiel, founder of PayPal, has also invested about $17 million into that company, even bigger than Gates. Vitaly Buterin, one of the cryptocurrency founders, donated $2.4 million to a company which is doing research in terms of aging. All right, we make money all life long, but when to spend them? And we want to extend our life. We want this 16% of the global population who were able to make money, who reached something, they were able to make their dreams come true. This is very important. Yes, they are interested in living longer, living nice, and living good and healthy life. That's why they are investing. Those who have satisfied what they wanted and they keep on having this financial flow, they would think how to live longer and how to be healthier. A British billionaire, Jim Mellon, established a company uniting pharmacology, and I wouldn't call the name. This is a MLM company and artificial intelligence to develop an aging drug, an anti-aging drug. But now let's talk about the Russian market. There are publicly traded biotech companies, and my foreign partners would ask me a question very often: when are you going to IPO? I talked to Evgeny, and I found out that this is not a goal in itself. If there is a need to have additional funding, we would sell our shares. There are only three biotech companies in Russia, publicly traded. This is the public joint stock public corporation JCKG, Farm Synthese, and MMCB. So that's the trade view screen is showing. You can see that the last price 6.5 and 25.85. This is a dollar price. And you can look next. The volume price, how many million shares? By 10 million shares, and this ASK have 2.4 or 24.8 million dollars, the market volume. So if you project it on our company, you would see a big difference. And there is another question: what is the price of the share of a company that is publicly traded? Please remember those figures: 659, 2580. So you can imagine there are three companies available, and now may I have your attention, please? The public companies that we all know: Johnson & Johnson, 140 per share. UNH, $300 per share. Isn't it good? So this is what we are going to do and where we are going together. A few words about... Well, look, as I said, the development of new tests and other instruments against COVID-19, the strong growth of shares of Farm Synthese, ESKCH, happened in April, and we can see this picture, but still there is not enough capitalization. Next. Well, volatility is not very interesting. Look, what is going on? We are trying to we're now growing an estromelanin pigment, and we have new pigment generated from the same yeast. And those technologies are really cool. It is growing, it is live, and is going to help us. That's very nice, and that would be an action at a molecular level on our body without side effects. This is very good, and you can imagine what the future holds for our company. This is really cool. We are going to Shangri-La now, an investment Shangri-La. So basically, this is it that I wanted to tell you. Just a few words about the following. The matter is that the tests or clinical trials, or sorry, preclinical trials are done on artificial cells or tissues. There was a test group testing estromelanin already took place, and half of results were positive. And the quality of the substance that we had is much weaker. It differs. It differs, not to the worse. It helped a lot anyway. But we are going to have a booster concentrate. As you remember, you all remember, once again, you just I've provided so much information to you today. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. And I would say that we are on the 8th investment stage. The 3.7 plus is the result in October for crypto investors. They got 3.7 more points or money on their deposit on cryptocurrency. So what about questions? Do we have any questions? Well, if you want to provide negative words, you can do that because we are a free country. But the potential is there. There are two ways for our development. You all saw figures, and I would answer Alexei's question, why speaking about other companies? Well, I'm speaking about our company every week in English and in Russian. So please attend our webinars, and today the webinar is like that. Any other constructive questions? If yes, please go ahead. If not, I am going to wish you good holiday season, good barbecue, nice weather, and good mood. And please be healthy. Natalia Turan was with you. Thank you, ladies, for supporting me. All the best to you, and until next time.